I'm Mrs. Adeleye, and I'm joining from somewhere in London right now, actually. So, what brings me to London? I got nominated for an award which I received 2 days ago by the Global Win, for innovative leadership. Mr. George just read out my bio on and what we do with the CSR arm of the firm, where we help the public school libraries, renovate, refurbish, donate books, ensure they have a computer. So those are the things that the CSR arm of the firm does, and I'm very thankful. We didn't do it in order to get noticed or get an award. We've been doing it for quite a while, but I'm thankful that it came with an award. Right. So I have over 20 years post-call experience. I run a law firm and then a real estate development company as well. And I'm currently writing a book which is due to be published on real estate investments in Nigeria and how to get it right. So there's a lot of information that we're going to be doling out this night on real estate investments, and then we're talking about due diligence, how to get it right, and quite a number of these principles can actually be applied worldwide. In any part of the country that you are, any part of the world that you are, you just ensure that you modify it, and then and it's in alignment with the laws of the country. But majority of the principles that I'm going to be talking about actually almost about 75% of them are globally applicable when you want to go into real estate investments. Allow me to share, please, my slides. So I'm going to be guided by my slides. Please, can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes. Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Let me put it in the sharing mode. Okay. Yep. So we're talking about due diligence. So we're going to be talking about due diligence on properties in Nigeria. Mr. George has said that there will be a time for question and answers. So please, if you have questions, you can start putting them in the chat room. Yeah, so I'm going to start with my story first and foremost. It's a very interesting story of how we got into property law. So we started off with corporate commercial law. I'm a lawyer, corporate commercial law. And by the virtue of the fact that I've lived in different parts of the world, we've lived in Doha, Qatar for 4 years, in Indonesia for 3 years, on cross-posting. I've had to meet with quite a number of Nigerians in the diaspora. So when it was time to go back home and continue practice, so a lot of these clients in diaspora would ask to help them handle 1 or 2 legal things, and then we would handle them, and then they will be really happy based on trust, integrity, and they would come back and say, okay, you've been able to handle our legal works really well. I believe that you'll be able to help with our real estate need as well. So of course we went into conducting due diligence. We discovered that quite a number of Nigerians in diaspora are interested in investing back home, because who knows, one day they may just want to come back home to just stay or retire or come for a holiday, or sometimes they just want to bring the children back to Nigeria on a visit, and so they are always interested in investing in real estate in Nigeria. And so they would typically come and say, okay, so why don't you help us handle our real estate investment needs? And I've shared the story a couple of times, and I'd like to share the story. So there was this client that was as far back as 2011, and he wanted It was here. It was okay. It's still here in the UK. He's always been here in the UK. He works with British Petroleum, and they wanted to invest in real estate back in Nigeria, and contacted us. And we did everything, due diligence, everything was good, and it was time for him to just move the funds and pay for the property. And then it was just a plot of land of about 16 million. That was in 2011, 16 million naira then. And he was worried about sending the money to Ross to make the payment on his behalf, because he just really got to know us. And they said, oh, okay, I will have to come down myself for the payment. And he couldn't make it, he couldn't get some time off work. He decided the wife was going to come. Also, the wife was busy with one program or the other and the children, and she couldn't make it. And eventually he said, Madam, I don't have a choice at this point. I know your brother, and I know I'm going to hold on to your brother. My brother was in the UK as well then with the same company. And he said, well, I'm going to move the money to you. I just smiled. So he moved the funds, about 15 million then, or 16 million. He moved the funds. We paid for the property for him. We got him a title documents and mailed the documents to him. And he was very happy. And then the following year, he was going to buy another property. And when we had done the due diligence and were satisfied, and so it was time for payment. So I said, okay, so when are you coming to Nigeria to make payment? Because I knew that was an issue for him. He said, oh no, madam, but yeah. Then I started laughing. He knew what I meant, and I knew what he meant too. And so we both laughed about it. Then it was the value of the property was buying there was about 50 million. And of course, he moved the funds to us, and we did that for him. And so because we had handled for him, handled for one or two other people, we began to thrive on word of mouth recommendation, and we discovered that we were being recommended amongst a lot of the experts in their community, Nigerians in the diaspora. And so we're doing a lot of due diligence. And of course, the expertise grew over time. And I'm here today, writing a book on conducting due diligence in Nigeria, because I can tell you for a fact that I go to bed at night and sleep well, because I don't compromise on the results of the due diligence. Once there's a hint of doubt, I don't bother going ahead with it. So I'll go on to the next slide. So we're talking about due diligence in Nigeria. Is my slide changing? Is my presentation changing?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. So what is due diligence? Due diligence on properties and bare land refers to the comprehensive investigation and evaluation process that a buyer or investor undertakes before finalizing a purchase, sale, lease, or any transfer of interest over real estate. This process ensures that the buyer or investor is fully informed about the property, its history, and the associated risk. So we're going to be talking about all those: the property, the history, and the associated risk. So before you go into any kind of real estate investment, it's very crucial that you conduct due diligence. And we're going to be talking about different aspects of it. So let's go on to the next slide. So if you're thinking of investing in Nigeria, I would like to start with the Land Use Act, and also in any other part of the world that you may be thinking of having an investment. It's always good to know what law governs, real estate transactions in those countries. That's why it's always good to get the services of a lawyer, so that we are not penny wise and pound foolish. So the Land Use Act 1978 governs all land transactions right now in Nigeria, every part of Nigeria. And what does it say? It says that every land in Nigeria belongs to the state government, that they are holding it in trusts for the people. Belongs to the state government, and then if it's land that falls under federal allocation, it belongs to the federal government. So land like places like Ikoyi, or where you have the GRA and all those, will typically be under federal allocation, and then all others will be under the state. And it says that, so it's the government, or it's the governor of that state that owns the land, and he leases it out to anybody for 99 years. So when we say you're registering your title, or you're perfecting your title, you just bought land in Nigeria, and it says you can only have it for 99 years. Now, where that is very tricky is, so let me bring it home. I want this to be a very practical session, because I want us to be highly knowledgeable when it comes to what real estate in due diligence actually entails. What that means, the implication of that for us, for those of us conducting due diligence, is okay. Assuming I buy a property from Mr. George, and Mr. George gives me his title documents. He has probably registered his title, he has governor's consent on it, but I need to check at what point, that land was released, to the first person to register the title over that land. So we'll go to the root of the title. So, Mr. George may be selling the land to me in the year 2024. Now, it doesn't mean that my 99 years begin to run in 2024, or that the 99 years will begin to run whenever I register my title. It means that the 99 years must have started running from the very first time that land was released, or from the first time that the owner of the land registered the title. So you discover that, for example, in Oniru now, you discover that when the Land Use Act came into force, it's been a while, and you discover that a lot of the properties in Oniru around year 2010, 2015, Oniru, part of Lagos State, Nigeria, West Africa, around 2010, 2015, a lot of them, the 99 years elapsed. And so, but what does that mean when the 99 years expire? What it means is that you go back to the government, to the governor of the land registry of the state, and the title is renewed, and the 99 years begin to run again. So where you need to exercise some caution when it comes to that is, you need to know, whenever you are buying into any particular real estate investment, you need to know how many years are left. And then some people, instead of giving a full deed of assignment, they give you a deed of sublease. That is very tricky. Some people have gotten into problem with that. So there was a particular case that landed on a colleague's table about 4 or 5 years ago. So this man bought land in Ikoyi, and he paid so much for the land. And of course, he felt, oh, I know these people well. And then it didn't involve a lawyer. So they just sent him, I think the in-house counsel of the company sent him the title document. He signed. It was a deed of sublease, not a deed of assignment. Now, and about 15 years after he paid for the land, the person the seller of the land came back and said, oh, that his purchase over the land had expired, and that he needed to pay afresh if he wanted the land again for the next 99 years. And he was wondering what was happening. He said, but I thought I fully paid for this thing. He said, I thought I fully paid for it. And he said, oh no, check your title document, check the contract of sale, what we agreed on. It's a deed of sublease. And apparently there was a clause in the deed of sublease that said that that once the 99 years expire, the title will automatically revert to. So they gave it to him for, they removed 1 or 2 years from the 99 years. And the clause said, oh, once it was 97 years, that the title, or 98 years, would revert to the seller, and that they would need to pay a fee or whatever. And it became really dirty, and he decided he was going to get that was the point. He now decided he was going to get a lawyer, go to court. When it comes to real estate transaction, well, no matter how well I know somebody, I still won't dwell on trust. The proper thing has to be done, because the person you even trust today, what if he passes on, and then a family member, the spouse, or any of the children, any of them comes up to say, oh, to contest the sale, and then for a property that you bought on trust, and then you not really conclude on title transfer and all those, is a big risk. So when it comes to real estate, please never fully conclude on a real estate transaction based on trust. You have to get your lawyer to peruse the document for you. So that's that about the Land Use Act 1978. So when we have clients approaching us for real estate investment, the first thing we always ask them is, what is the purpose? So I always say, pause and think, what's the purpose? Because the purpose, to a large extent, will determine the kind of real estate investment you want to dabble into. Now, are you buying to live in? Are you buying for investment purposes? If you are buying to live in, it's fine. For example, if you are buying land anywhere to build and live in, and you don't want to spare any cost or any expense, you want to build to your taste, you want to put all the best building materials and everything, because you are building to live in, I would say go for it. But if you are building for investment purposes, which means you are building and you want to rent it out, you will need to pause and sit down and do the maths, because no matter how good your property is, no matter how well built your property is, no matter how nice your property is, even if it is the best in that area, there's a cap on rental value for every area. For example, an apartment in Ikoyi for sale can go for as high as $1 million. And then for rent can go for as high as 20,000, 40,000, $100,000 per annum. Yes, you have apartments going for, depending on how well built, how luxurious they are, per annum. But you can't go to Ikeja and decide to put all the best facilities and say, oh no, I'm going to, maybe you go to an area in Ikeja. Let me think of let's say Allen Avenue, for example. Allen Avenue is a nice area, but you can't go to Allen Avenue and say you want to build the best apartments in Allen Avenue and you want to be able to rent it out at $100,000. It won't work, because somebody who has $100,000 and wants to rent an apartment would rather go to Banana Island, Ikoyi. They have maybe $90,000, $40,000, $50,000. So they rather go to such areas. So there's a cap on the rental value of every area. So if you're buying for investment purposes, you need to think, and then make sure that what you are spending to build will not exceed a calculation of what will give you a return on your investments between 12 and 15 years maximum. So when you're going into real estate investment and the ROI, the return on investment, is about 12 years or lower than 12 years, then it's, or shorter than 12 years, it's a fantastic investment. You have a good investment. But if what you're going into is more than 15 years, then you need to reconsider. It may not be something to invest in. So the purpose of your investment would go a long way in determining the kind of investment. So we ask what's your purpose, we ask what's your preferred area, we ask what's your budget. Also having a budget for your real estate investment always helps as well. So it will help to know what area, the best areas with your budgets, with what you have set aside as your budget. And I'll talk about land flipping later. Let's go on to registration of title document. I always advise that every time as soon as you invest in real estate, please register. In Lagos State right now, in Nigeria as a whole, digitalization is going on, and digitalization of title document registration or perfection of title document, like we always say, they're the same thing. It's is ongoing, and it's been pretty slow. Everything used to be manual, but right now the government is migrating to digitalization. So if you're here and for one reason or the other, you're having some perfection, some title document registration ongoing, and whoever is helping you has been at it for a very long time, it's because of the digitalization that is going on. It's been very, very slow, and we're hoping that it's going to pick up very soon. I want to give a word of caution when it comes to title registration. So, and preparation of your title document. All things being equal, we're still going to delve deeper into due diligence. All things being equal, everything is okay, and then you want to put the actual value. You want to put the value of your value of the land in the deed of assignment, your title document. Now, you would always get this particular question from lawyer: do you want us to put the actual value or put a much lower value? And the reason why they always ask is that based on the value that you have, Lagos State will assess it. So because the rate of assessment, they have a rate of assessment, for when you want to perfect. There are different rates for different things. So they have maybe 5% of this, 10% of that, and all those. And so people would typically want to reduce the actual value of their property as stated in the deed of assignment. Some people would ask for two sets of deeds, one with the actual value, one without the actual value. Well, I don't do that, and I always advise people not to, because a lot of people that do this, they do it out of ignorance. They don't realize the implication. God forbid, but if there ever happens to be a need for compensation by the Lagos State government, maybe for one reason or the other, that place was demolished. Was for one reason or the other, it was demolished, and then the government wants to compensate you. What the rate of compensation is going to depend on what you have actually stated in your deed of assignment. So if you have grossly undervalued your property or your land, then it's going to work to your disadvantage. So that's why I always and the thing is, what most people don't realize is that, for example, you buy land in Lekki, or you buy land in Ikoyi, and government officials, the land registry, they already have an idea of what the value of the land is. So at the Lagos State Lands Registry, they have their own rates, generalized rates for every area in Lagos State. So if you buy a plot of land for, let's say, 80 million in Lekki 1, and then your lawyer decided to just put a much lower value so that the assessment, the statutory fees that you'll be paying to Lagos State government is not a lot, and so your lawyer decides to just bring down the value maybe from 80 million, let's say 20 million. They have their own rates. It may not be, usually it won't be as high as what the going rate is, but at least it will be at least 60 million. So at the end of the day, the assessment you're going to get is still going to be slightly higher than the 20 million that you have quoted there, because they will now go over to their own rates, and they will check which one is higher. So if your own rate is higher than what they have at the lands registry, that's what they will use. But if their own rate is higher than what you have quoted in your title documents, they are going to use their own rate. So at the end of the day, so if any need for compensation should arise in the future, it's going to be like double jeopardy, so just state the right value and then pay the right statutory fee that you should pay. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. I hope you're seeing my slides change. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so key components of due diligence include evaluation of title document. This involves perusing existing title documents to determine what are the potential risks and what sort of due diligence is required in that case, federal and state allocation. So, for example, if for most property, a lot of properties in Ikoyi actually falls under federal, and some parts of VI, they fall under federal, and then a lot of the GREs, fall under the federal allocation. So it's a federal lands registry that would handle that. That's where you conduct your search. Now, if it falls under state allocation, most of the land in every state would typically fall under state allocation. And so if it falls under state allocation, then the due diligence, so your search and everything that you need to conduct will be conducted at the state's land registry. So I keep saying Lagos State because that's where my area of expertise has really, really grown. Yeah, so let's talk about before I go on to title search, I want to talk about the different kinds of title documents. We have the C of O, we have the governor's consent, and we have the unregistered title. And so those are the three types of title documents that you are likely to come across, and I will expatiate more on those later. Title search. After identifying the type of due diligence required in the circumstance, the original title document is verified and confirmed as properly issued by the relevant government agency. So also check for liens, encumbrances, or legal disputes are carried out, e.g. loans and mortgage. So you have this land or this property that you're interested in, and you really want to go for it. You have to conduct your due diligence. Number one, you evaluate your title document. Is it a C of O? If it's a C of O, fantastic. You can easily search at the lands registry. It's C of O and governor's consent, they are on the same level. So a lot of people say, oh, does it have C of O or does it have governor's consent? In people's mind, it's as though, okay, C of O is number one, governor's consent is number two. No, C of O and governor's consent, they are on the same level when it comes to title document, when it comes to the strength, when it comes to the authenticity. C of O and governor's consent or registered title document are on the same level, because you can easily confirm the authenticity of title ownership at the lands registry. Now, some clients will come and say, oh, I'm buying this, I just bought this property, or I'm buying this property and I want you to help me do the title document. It's C of O that I want to. So now I laugh because they've said that out of ignorance. Nobody who is buying a property has that right to choose whether it's C of O or to choose whether they want a C of O registered against their property. So what I would say is that the first time any kind of title document is issued on any particular property by the government is called a C of O, certificate of occupancy. And the thing is, a C of O can only be issued on one property once. So when the title of the property you're buying is a C of O, is fine, right? And then you're buying it from Mr. George has this property, the title is C of O, and I am buying it from him. So when I am buying it from him, what Mr. George's lawyer will prepare for me will be deed of assignment. I will now have to register the deed of assignment and get the governor's consent or perfection of my title document, which now brings it to the same level of the C of O. So once a C of O has been issued on a particular title, any subsequent assignment of that title will be through the deed of assignment. It can never be through a C of O again. Right. So now I buy from Mr. George. His title is C of O, and then he gives me a deed of assignment. I go ahead to register my title document, and I have my perfected title document. That is, I have the governor's consent. Now, Titi wants to buy from me. Now, what do? I give Titi deed of assignment, and then Titi goes ahead to register and perfect it, governor's consent. So any subsequent registration and any title document is has to do with through the deed of assignment, perfection of the deed of assignment, or getting the consent of the governor. So you can't come and you can't go meet a lawyer and say it's a C of O that I want, because your lawyer is not the Lagos state government, neither is it the federal government. Only the federal government or the state government can issue a certificate of occupancy, and only one certificate of occupancy can be issued for any particular land or property at any particular point in time. Okay, so let's go on to title search. So you check for liens, encumbrances, or legal disputes. So you check, and there's what we call the lease pendants. I think okay, so when you are doing a search on your title document, if it's a C of O, if it's something that has a governor's consent, they are the easiest to check, they are the easiest to verify. So you go ahead and verify. But sometimes it happens. Let me give you another scenario. I buy from Mr. George, who has a C of O, and then I bought from him. He gave me deed of assignment, but I decided to just keep my deed of assignment in my room and not register it. And I'm like, okay, I'll register it when I'm buoyant. I'll register it tomorrow. I'll register it later, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And I'm like, oh, there's a need for it, or I have to jack back, or I need money to just quickly beef off my child's school fees, abroad and all those things. Let me sell one of my properties. And then you go get out the title documents. The title that you have not registered, there's no governor's consent, nothing. And then so Tola wants to buy I'm selling to Tola. Tola wants to buy from me. Mr. Ogoli wants to buy from me. And so you would recall that I have not registered my own title. It doesn't make it invalid. But what now happens is that the state still recognizes Mr. George as the owner, as the valid owner of the property, even though I have paid for it. I've not registered my title document. So now, if I now want to execute a title, so I'm giving you all the secrets and the tips of due diligence. So the things we always look out for. So Mrs. Ogoli gets a lawyer. She's a lawyer herself. Mrs. Ogoli gets a lawyer. And the lawyer checks my title document and say, oh, Mrs. Adeleye has not registered a title document. So Mrs. Adeleye cannot give you a valid deed of assignment. So I have to go back to Mr. George and say, oh, Mr. George, and I've not registered my title document. Please, I will need to prepare a deed of assignment between Mr. George and Mrs. Ogoli because I've not registered mine. And so in that instance, Mr. George, if he's my friend and he knows me really well, he's okay, no problem, Mr. Adeleye, I will sign the title document for you. If it's a family or if it's somebody that I don't really know really well, the person may demand some money and say, pay me 5 million or pay me 2 million before I can sign this title document for you. And at that point, I don't have a choice. So it becomes really, really complex. I always advise clients, register your title document immediately, and some people have kept their title documents for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, and then the person that probably sold to them, the person is no more, and then it becomes a very complex issue. Then you have to start looking for, okay, let's get evidence of that death certificate and all those things, and then it becomes a very complex. There's nothing we can't sort out, but sometimes it's very complex and it lengthens the whole process. So I would advise register your title document immediately. So let's go on to unregistered titles. So it's easy for us to move on to unregistered titles now. So I have a deed of assignment. There are three types. I have a deed of assignment that I bought from a registered title, and I have not registered mine. To a large extent, that's still a good, I would say, I'll give it 75%. It's still a good title, just that I didn't register it, but the root of my title is registered. So that's what we call the root of title. The root of my title is perfect, is a C of O. Or sometimes the root of the title is governor's consent. It doesn't always have to be a C of O. The root of the title could just be governor's consent, so but I've not registered it, right? So you're going to check. So when you're checking for the last registered owner's ownership authenticity at the lands registry. You can't check for mine because I've not registered, but you can check for the person I bought it from. That's also easy. Sometimes a whole lot of these things are no issues at all, and you find out that people that buy from estates, they buy from a developed estate, most of them just have their deed of assignment and they don't bother registering because the estate already has a C of O, or sometimes the estate has a governor's consent. To a large extent, it's safe. But I would always say, because I've seen 2 or 3 incidents that happened, in the course of my career, whereby an estate allocated, to 2 different people, or there were issues, and at the end of the day, they got to court, and the court was like, okay, who has a registered title over this land, even though you bought from an estate? It's rare that it happens when you buy from an estate, but just sometimes a few people who lack integrity will go ahead, and just a few. It doesn't really happen when you have those. It rarely happens, but I always say just go ahead and register your title document. So you have that type. So it depends on the root of title. One that is previously registered, one that was never registered. It's land that has been a title that has never been registered, or land that, even though it's been so properties that have never been registered will be maybe those people who have buying from people that the government has just has released land to, not just a while ago, a long time ago, buying from them, but then not bothering to register it. And then the newly released land that we call excised land. The word is excised or excision. So those are the most dangerous ones. The first 2, you can still find your way around them, and the last one is the most dangerous one. That's the newly released one. So those ones are the gazetted ones. Excision, you're buying from Omonile, and they don't have their registered titles. It's very dangerous, and you have to conduct what I call the social due diligence. And not that you can't get some valid ones there, but it's actually very tricky. And then you have to ensure that you get to the very, very root of the title. And in such instances, when we come across such things, we have to ask to meet the Bale or the Kabiyesi, of the community. And they would always know who is the rightful owner, which family is the rightful owner. And then after directing you to the right family, and then the family will be able to tell you who amongst the family members is the actual owner of the land. So that's what we call the social due diligence. And a lot of times, even when you're buying land in an area whereby even though newly released, and some of them have registered their title documents, it's still always good to conduct a social due diligence, because sometimes you get the legal due diligence right, and then if you don't get the social, sometimes the property is validly registered at the lands registry. But what if the person who registered it had a faulty purchase from the beginning? So you still have to conduct a social due diligence in areas that are not well developed. But in developed areas, you don't bother about social due diligence. Actually, you're buying from an estate. It's so easy. Just go to the estate office. You want to know who has this, and then go to the lands registry to check if the person has registered, they have governance consent. If they don't have the governance consent, yeah, fine. Check as long as the estate can confirm that that is the person that they allocated it to. Then you will have to check the title of the estate itself, that the estate they have their title registered. So let's go on to the next slide. I want to pause a little bit. I want to see if there's anything that's been brought to my attention, because I'm not checking my charts. Okay. So I've seen one or two questions that I will attend to. Thank you very much, Mr. George. I can see that. But I believe I've answered that question. What happens after the 99 years?
Yeah, you've answered it. So you can just move on. You've answered.
Yeah. I'll move on with the presentation now. So okay. I'll continue sharing. Yeah, so let's move. Property inspection. So we're talking about due diligence. So after checking, the first thing you check is the title authenticity at the lands registry. After doing all those, the next thing you want to do is no. You have to inspect that you like the location, and then after inspection, and then you do the search. But so let's come down to, what do you do after inspecting the property? You've inspected, you like it, you've done the title checks at the lands registry, you like that. So it says assessing the physical condition of the property, including the structural integrity and necessary repairs by relevant professionals. Also, surveyors can be contracted to accurately determine the property boundaries, ensure compliance with zonal and regulatory requirements, and to prevent disputes. Now, so we always say do an integrity test. You can easily do an integrity test in Lagos State right now. Just get a structural engineer and they will check the structural integrity of the property. If the foundation was well done, sometimes the foundation needed could be piling, it could be rafts. So if it's piling that was meant to have been done for that area, was it well done? If it's raft down, then get the soil tests. If it's a property that you are buying, a house, but if you're buying land, you don't need to. So it depends. Are you buying land? If you're buying a property, you need to do the structural integrity test, and then you will need to get a structural engineer. And then also we work with surveyors as well. We work with structural engineers, we work with surveyors as well. And what do the surveyors do? Now, they may present you with the title document and say, this is the title document of the property. How do you know whether this title document is actually for this property? It may be the same name, it may be the name of the street, the number and everything. It's the survey. So what we get the surveyor to do is to get on the land, pick the coordinates, compare the coordinates to what is quoted on the registered title document, and see that they align. Because there have been so many cases of land flipping, property flipping, and so and I've been a part of one before that the family surveyor came and then unfortunately the buyer used the family surveyor. And I always say, never trust the family surveyor. Get your own independent surveyor. A structural engineer can be engaged to check the integrity of the construction. You can actually conduct integrity test for your properties, zoning and land use. So sometimes when you check for encumbrance, when you check, you want to buy a plot of land in an area that is upcoming and developing, then you check what is the zoning. Is it for commercial? Is it for residential? So if I want to build and I want to live in there, am I sure that the zoning for this area is residential or is it commercial? And then also you check for encumbrance. Usually, I would say something. Usually, when you check, when you get your lawyers to work with the surveyor and they check at the Surveyor General's office, you will know whether this land falls within a place that has been set aside, by the Lagos state government, maybe acquired by Lagos state government for something. So there's what we call acquired, and there's what we call acquired and committed. So it's land that has not been released by the government, is acquired. Most times, if the government does not have anything specifically for real, and they think that what you want to put there is very important, maybe a factory, an industry or whatever, you can do regularization of the title document. You pay a lot of money and then the government would release it most times. But if it is acquired and committed, don't even bother. Maybe it's been committed for coastal road, it's been committed for pipeline area, it's been committed for other things. Don't bother. It's something to run away from. For us, we run away from both acquired and committed. And I will tell you the truth that recently Lagos state government went, demolishing a whole lot of houses. But I'll tell you the truth. If you check the master plan that has been there since 1960, all those places that they are demolishing now have already been earmarked as coastal roads. But some people will just advise you and say, oh, especially if you are not using a lawyer or you are not doing the due diligence properly, or if it's a lawyer that just wants quick money or something, they just say, don't worry. Coastal Road since 1960, this is 80 years or 60 years after, they've not done the Coastal Road. Go ahead and buy it and build, Jerry, and enjoy your money. Government will not even build the Coastal Road until 10, 20 years. By then, you would have made your money. In 15 years, you would have gotten your return on your investment. And some people go ahead and do it. And also people know, and they will not reveal to the prospective buyers because they are thinking, well, government has not look at this coastal road. If you look at the original plan of the government for coastal road, it's still the same plan that has been there since 1960. Just that some developers are careless. I remember when we were going to invest in the Lekki Free Trade Zone, and we kept a group of guys in the UK here wanted us to help them with their real estate investment in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. And every time I would always go with the surveyor. And every single time I went with the surveyor, they would go back, pick the coordinates and go back and chart it. And they'll come back and say, oh, it's acquired and committed. And I was getting tired. And there was one particular one. I was like, okay, so maybe I should just help them to invest in an estate that is already there, that is upcoming. And we went to inspect, and then I was too sure that everything was going to be fine with this. And I discovered that it wasn't free land, it was acquired land. I was so disappointed. I put a call through to the developer. I said, are you aware? Did you engage a lawyer? Did you do due diligence? Because I saw all these developers that would go with bosses and take prospective buyers, because I saw a whole lot of potential subscribers there at that point. I said, are you aware? Did you do due diligence? Are you aware that this land that you're selling, that you're promoting is acquired, is not free? He said, madam, I'm aware. I said, okay, are the people aware? He said, no, they are not aware. He said, what? I'll collect their money and then pay the government. I'll just pay the government whatever they need. I'll regularize it. It's called regularization. I'll regularize it. And I'm like, but what if the government refuses and they say it's committed for a particular project or something? He said, madam, please don't disturb me. I said, madam, please don't call me again. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Just leave me alone. That was the end of it. But eventually we found a place, and I felt really bad because I know that a whole lot of people were paying there. And then some people will come to our office when it's really too late, or and nothing much can be done. They've lost their their money, they've lost their investment, nothing to show for it. Okay, let me move on to environmental clearance. Assess the property for environmental compliance, especially if it's near sensitive areas like water bodies, drainage, or protected zones. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide. I talked about purpose already. This is meant to be, okay, I was going to edit this. This is meant to be lease spendings. So that's to tell you that I'm very conversant with my slides. So this is meant to be lease pendants. What's lease pendants? We say a property is lease pendants if it's a property under litigation. Sometimes you check at Alausa, you check at the lands registry, and everything is okay with it, but you are not even aware that somebody has taken another person to court on this land. So recently, the Lagos State government, about 2 years ago, part of the things that they are working on to help improve how real estate is done. I'm going to put something in the chat room now. Recently, there's a website built by Lagos State government. So the thing is, in every area, allow on every visit. Okay. In every area whereby a land is, and if there's any dispute, anybody who has a dispute over that land must go to the nearest courts in that area. It could be the magistrate court, it could be the high court. So to institute any kind of litigation, or to contest title ownership. I want to paste the website. Okay. Let me see. I put the website here. So the Lagos State government actually opened a link whereby you can check and put the registration number of the title document. Yes, it's WA.ME. Sorry, it's www.lagosleasependants.com.ng. That's the link I'm trying to. I pasted it here, but I'm not able to copy it right now. I don't know what exactly is going on. So it's www.lagosleasependants.com.ng. Tejumade, you can help me type it in there. Tejumade is my PA. She's here right now. It's www.lagosleasependants.com.ng. You can actually go to the site. I know that the site is currently down right now. Hopefully it's going to come up again, and then put in the title document. And again, it's just for registered titles. So that's why it's good for you to register your title document. Put in the title document, and then it will let you know whether there's any litigation. And if you can't do that, but what we'll do to play safe is to go to the court that is closest to the high court, closest to that property, and check if there's any litigation against it. So that's what we call the lease pendants. So when you're doing then off-plan purchase, what's off-plan? You want to subscribe to a project, somebody's building houses, the developer is building houses, building apartments. I'm going to be rounding up in the next 10 minutes or less. Somebody's building a real estate apartment and then you want to subscribe to it. You have to check the antecedents of the developer. Has he built before? Did he deliver on time? Did he build to taste? Also, let's talk about making payment. When you want to make payment for your real estate investment, make sure that you pay into the owner's account. Make sure that whoever you are paying into is the name on the title document. If you don't and it becomes a court case, the court will tell you that you didn't pay for the land or you didn't pay the owner of the land. Unless the person is the lawyer unless you are paying to a solicitor. So that's fine. if you are paying, so a lot of people, some people would rather pay through the solicitor because they know that the solicitor will do the right thing and pay into the right account. But please don't agree to, I have an issue with my account at the moment. Please, can you pay into my sister's account, or can you pay into my friend's account? Please don't. If you are buying land, always pay directly into the developer's account. So I'm changing the slide. We talked about investigating the area's amenities. So if you're buying within an estate, it's fully serviced, you want to check what their services are. Other due diligence is dependent on the peculiarity. It's dependent on the peculiarity of the property. So if you are buying within an estate, you know what to check for, and it's very easy to check if there are no outstanding service charges. Sometimes some people just buy and they forget to actually check at the estate office or admin office. Is this person owing? Has this person fully paid for this land? Or I hope this person is not owing any service charge and all those. So always engage the services of real estate agents, lawyers, and all those in your real estate investments. I would change the slides. So this is affecting my view of the. One second, please. Okay, finally, the due diligence required. Finally, the due diligence required to be conducted on behalf of property sellers are mostly financial due diligence to check the buyer's liquidity and ability to complete the transaction. Checks are also done to ensure that the buyer complies with the money laundering laws and no financial crimes are committed. So we're talking about on the seller. And as a seller as well, you want to sell your property, you have to do due diligence on the person who is buying your property. That's what we call the KYC, to ensure that you don't buy a property that EFCC will come after later in the future. So what we always do is we send out our KYC form to prospective buyers as well. So we just don't do due diligence on the seller, we do due diligence on the buyer as well. Where's your source of fund? Where's it coming from? I don't want to buy a property that EFCC will be chasing me for later in the future. And then how do I make money from real estate even if I don't have the initial or the required funding? So that brings me to another aspect of this that I will quickly cover. So land flipping. You may just buy land today if you feel like it's in a very good and an upcoming area. Buy it today and then tomorrow you flip it, you make your money, and then buy it now. In 6 months you sell it, or 1 year you sell it, and then you make your money and buy more, flip it again, make your money, sell it, make your money, buy, sell. So it's like you're buying, you sell, make some money, and then buy more, buy a larger. So, and then we have what we call equity. So my own venture into real estate, first and foremost, was into my very first venture into real estate was without any kind of cash or anything. It was my equity contribution. It was a real estate company that needed subscribers to their project, and I know that I have quite a number of Nigerians in the diaspora that we represent, and are always looking for real estate investment. So we sat down at the table, and this person said, "Okay, I'll pay you this," and I said, "Okay, I don't want money. Just give me real estates." She was selling land, and the first when we sent this thing out, we were able to sell about 22 plots for her, and she was giving me one plot. She was giving me a plot of land for every 15 plots sold. So I got a plot of land from her, and then the balance was paid to me in cash. That was my very first. And so we went on and on that, and I was able to own my own real estate. And then JV, what's joint venture? Somebody has the land but doesn't have the money. That's the story of a lot of people in Ikoyi right now, because a lot of the Ikoyi landowners right now are people that got it from, it was bequeathed to them, it was willed to them, an inheritance, from their parents. And a lot of them don't have the money to build something luxurious that should ideally be in Ikoyi or VI, because you can't just build anything in Ikoyi or VI. So they're always looking for JV partners. So that's how to. So if I have 500 million, I know that 500 million cannot buy me. Or if I have 1 billion naira, I know that 1 billion naira will probably not buy me 2 plots or 3 plots in Ikoyi. So I look for somebody who already has land in Ikoyi, and I'm like, I have money that we can build something really nice on. And then, because if I want to buy land in Ikoyi, so I spend all the money buying the land, I don't have money to build. So somebody has the land and another person has the money, and the person comes, okay, so let's have a JV, joint venture agreement. So there are a lot of details, that I wouldn't go into when it comes to JV. We prepare JV agreements a lot as well, because the JV agreement will depend on the value of the land vis-a-vis the value of the structure that is going to be on the land. So because you have the land and I have the money, does not mean that we're going to split it equal. If the money I'm spending is more than the value of the land, then I'm getting more. It's going to be according to that ratio. But if the money I'm spending is less than the value of the land, for example, want to build a high rise in Ikoyi, and then I have maybe 5 billion, but the value of the Ikoyi land is about 10 billion. So it's going to be shared in ratio 1:2. Okay, so that's that about JV and about due diligence. So I move on to, who am I really? So who am I? I'm a lawyer, and then a few years ago we ventured into real estate as a result of popular demand by our clients, for us to get into our own projects, real estate investment. Now our investment is currently most of our investments are currently at the Lekki Trade Zone, and we have a few in Ekpe. And those are upcoming areas. I would say that the Lekki Free Trade Zone right now is today where the general Lekki was about 20 years ago, when land was going for 5 million, then very quickly within a year moved to 10 million, 15 million, 20 million. I would say that we had some clients who invested in some land that we had to offer. That was then. We're not even really going into real estate then. We just wanted to have some kind of land ownership at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. And we saw this large parcel of land, and the family said they were not ready to sell a few plots and that they needed to sell everything. So I had to quickly call some families and some friends, and say, if you want to go into real estate, if you want to go into any kind of business, the 3 people you call are the 3 F's. Families first, friends, and fools. Fools are like angel investors. They probably don't believe in what you want to do, but they believe in your integrity. So that's why integrity is key. And I always tell people that if you think that integrity is not valuable, go to the market with your integrity. You discover that integrity at the end of the day would bring you a lot more value. It will pay off at the end of the day. So we thrive on word of mouth recommendation. We thrive on integrity. And so I will tell you that the first project that we decided to go into, and I was thinking, okay, so how are we going to pay for this land? As in, I don't have enough money to pay for this land. And of course, in the place of prayer, and God was saying, oh, are you like a Gideon, and then I felt like a Gideon. So I started writing down the names of the clients I think may be interested, and all of them that I called were interested, and they were like, oh, Mrs. Adeleye, send the account details. I'm like, you're not even going to ask that you want to conduct due diligence or anything. No, Mrs. Adeleye, but you've been conducting due diligence for us for years, so why should you fail in your own with regards to your own project? And so that was how in 1 week we sold out on our first project, which was just land, not building. And then we went on to the second one, went on to the third one. And we didn't sell out on the entire thing. We sold out on the first phase. So we divided it into like 4 phases. We sold out on the first phase of that first project. So I'm presenting to you Heritage Dwellings projects. We have different projects in different parts of the Lekki Free Trade Zone. At the moment is very close to all our projects are about 15 minutes drive from the Dangote refinery. Right now, the Dangote refinery is a hot cake. That area, the Lekki Free Trade Zone, is a hot cake. There are so many blue chip companies there looking for investment opportunities, and they are looking for accommodation for their expats. So there's a huge investment opportunity at the Lekki Free Trade Zone, and there's a big market to be tapped into that so many people have not realized and have not tapped into. I'll tell you something. One of my colleagues, my former boss, Mr. Farutin, is building something, and all he has done is just the piling and about to start the foundation, and the Lekki Seaport is approaching that they want to take over the entire unit when it's ready, So, and then Dangote currently houses his expats at the La Campagne Tropicana. Is paying about 350,000-400,000 naira per night for these people because there's no accommodation. And then these blue chip companies are companies that can easily house their members of staff at in places like Ikoyi, Banana Island, 5-star accommodation, but there's nothing like that at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. So we say that we are bringing Banana Island to Ikoyi, and that's what this project is going to be all about. And I've talked about us. We're a creative and dynamic team dedicated to meeting the real estate needs of our clients in Nigeria and abroad. So our values are integrity, service and professionalism, prompt and efficient service delivery, client satisfaction. Why choose heritage? Profitability and innovation. And all our estates are well planned, gated, secured estates. So let's talk about the projects that we have. We have the Deborah Circle. Deborah Circle is in Ekpe. And Mr. George, I'll be rounding up soon.
Yes, just go ahead with the project.
Okay.
And please, if you know you've got questions, I think it's an opportunity for you now to begin to put them in the chat group. Just put your questions in the chat group. We're going to take the question much later. Actually, I've got one question anyway. But anyway, Let's go ahead. Go ahead with the project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have the Deborah Circle. The Deborah Circle is in Ekpe, and the beautiful thing about the Deborah Circle is just along the Ekpe-Itoke Expressway, and we are done with the fencing. Fencing is fully done. We have started works on the internal layouts, and I can show you the Deborah Circle video later. Where the project was a few months ago. Fencing is completed, and so the good thing is it's just off the express. So as you drive off the express road, you drive to the gate of Deborah Circle, and it's way beyond the setback. So there's no fear or worry of, and of course the Ekpe-Itoke Expressway has been completed already. So if you know Isimi Lagos is on the same Ekpe-Itoke Expressway. Isimi Lagos currently sells at 60 million, 80 million. They are done with their fencing as well, and they are done with their internal layouts. And that is why it's that high. So we are still working on our internal layout. So the people that are coming now are still having a good deal. So we are selling land 500 square meters and 250 square meters. We accept payment plan with an initial 30% deposit. We can have a 9-month payment plan. If you want a shorter payment plan, you get some discounts. And if you want to make an outright payment, you get some discounts as well. So that's Deborah Circle. That's the only project we have in Ekpe. at the moment. So it's Deborah Circle, I must say, is an estate within an estate. And so that also makes it really special. So we got this expanse of land within an already gated estate, and the title document for Deborah Circle is approved C of O. That's what we have on Deborah Circle. I use the word approved because it's at the final stage. All the payments, assessments, and everything that needs to be made for it has been paid, it's been approved, and so we are waiting the printouts. Right. Okay. So this is still Deborah Circle, and so we've converted everything into pound sterling so that it's easier for you to just wrap your mind around. Okay. What the price is. So this is the one for 500 square meters. This is for 250 square meters in Deborah Circle. And so we have the prices for if you're making an outright payment, if it's going to be a 3 months payment plan, 6 month payment plan, 9 months payment plan. Yeah. Okay. So that's Deborah Circle. So let's go on to this one that I'm very excited about. It's a heritage book. It's at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. Is about 15 minutes drive from the Dangote refinery, and is about so further away after it is another 15 minutes drive to La Campagne Tropicana. So it's smacked halfway in between the Dangote refinery and the La Campagne Tropicana, and I'm very excited about the place because all the so when you branch off the Lekki Ekpe Express Road, you drive for less than 30 seconds, you hit the gate of this estate. We have just started works. We're still doing all the necessary paperwork that we need to do, before construction actually commences. And so that's why all the prices that we have right now are the pre-launch prices, and it's relatively much lower than what the current rates are for apartments in that area. And so, but we have our drawings, architectural drawings, mechanical, electrical. We are the approval stage, and just getting ready. And the thing is that we're going to be building in stages. So there are going to be 4 blocks of apartments. The first floor, we're having a concierge. So they are luxurious apartments. That's what we're building, because the area where it is an upcoming area at the Lekki Free Trade Zone right now. And then we have somebody building building a 5-star hotel just 2 parcels of land away from us. So you want to build something that will be of good standard, So you have the concierge at the ground floor with 1-bed apartments. So we're building 1-bed apartments. We have studios. We're having maisonettes. Maisonettes are like duplexes up and down within this block, and then we're having the luxury super big apartments such as you would see in Ikoyi or VI, whereby it's meant to be an apartment, but it's massive. As in, it has everything: 4 bedrooms, big kitchen, all on the same floor, a living room, a family lounge. You have the gym, you have the study, you have everything. So those ones are on the uppermost floors of the 5th and the 6th floors. That's what we have. And we have our super big maisonettes on the 5th and 6th floors on the other wing as well. So the plan is to complete a block. So we're going to be building block by block. We're not going to attempt to start everything at the same time. No, we're not going to do that. So we're building a block. Once we're done, we want the block to be fully functional and fully operational before we move on to the next one. So we're building an entire block, building the facilities, the recreational areas, and everything is all done before we move on to the second block, because we want our first subscribers to start reaping and gain massively, because you always want to reward the first people to subscribe to a project. because their own risk level is high, right? And then the ones that are coming in later will pay much more. So that's Heritage Brook apartments, 3 beds, 2 beds, 4 beds, and then we have maisonettes. We have 2-bedroom maisonettes and 4-bedroom maisonettes in each block. Each block would have to be on 6 floors. There will be an elevator for each one, and there will be common areas for everybody. There's a lounge on the first floor, and so that's the Heritage Brook. If you have questions, we're going to be answering your questions. So we have Watermelon Apartments. Watermelon Apartments are the studio apartments. We have the Avocado Apartments, the 1-bedroom apartments. The Rambutan Apartments are the 2-bedroom maisonettes up and down, and the Mangosteen Apartments are the Mangosteen Apartments are the 3-bedroom apartments, and they are massive. So payment plan exists for them, and we typically say 18 months payment plan. Payment plan is going to be attached to milestone achievements, milestone development, and these prices will be reviewed as soon as the project starts. So because currently the current value of 2 beds at the Lekki Filtration Zone for most of the projects currently ongoing are about 60, maybe 55. You get some 55, but they are not luxurious apartments. And then you get some for 60. They are not luxurious apartments. My colleague that is building right now, that has done the piling, is selling the 2 beds at 65 million. 60, 65, depending on the floor. The higher you go, the more you pay because of the beautiful view. Okay, so we have this project in Omole Estates that we just completed. I'm very proud of what we've done in Omole Estates. So we built 4 units just about 18 months ago when we started, and then we had to pause along the way for one reason or the other. Otherwise, these units would have been ready since. So we built 4 units, and 3 of which are gone. We only have 1 unit left, and so I will tell you that one of the people that bought the units off plan, that's the advantage of buying off plan. You get it at the lowest price possible, because by the time the project is completed, maybe 20 or 30 or 40% would have gone on. And the very first person that bought into this some other units off plan, because we needed a lot of funding then, paid just 150 million, and that was last year, not up to a year. And the same property today is 250, 260. As a matter of fact, if he wants to sell his own, he can sell for as high as 280 million. So that's our Omole project, which it's fully completed. And then we have a video on the Omole project. I can share that as well if time permits, and if Mr. George permits, I can share those 2 videos on, so live real videos on the project. Then Heritage Fount is our commercial, which I'm very excited about. The phase 1 of the commercial is actually fully sold out, and it's going to be ready for possession by January, February. So people who have bought into it are ready to just do whatever they want to do with it. We have plans for supermarket, pharmacy, banking halls, offices, and there's one major thing I'm missing now. It's Tojimade, was it? Pharmacy, supermarket, hospitality, a hotel. Yes, so that's what we're having at Heritage Fund. And also we are on the lookout for JV partners for the hotel, especially because we have the land fully paid for, documentation in place. We're working with our architects right now. We have all the drawings, and then people that have theirs already by January, February can go ahead and start doing what it. And I'll tell you that the Lekki Filtration Zone is actually really, really ripe for. Imagine having experts at the Lekki Filtration Zone right now, and at the weekends they will drive all the way from the Lekki Filtration Zone to Ikoyi and VI because they are looking for a nice restaurant. So meanwhile, all these properties are just 2 minutes away from the beach, walking distance from the beach. And wow, how beautiful, the beaches are. And yeah, so that's heritage found. And that's the value in naira, in pounds sterling. So at heritage fund currently, the current one, we have fully sold out, maybe except for one plot that we have, just one. But we're going to start phase 2 of the commercial very soon, and then we'd let folks know. Bethel Gardens is at the Lekki Free Prison as well. Bethel Gardens is land, site and service. We're doing the fencing, doing the internal layout, and then people can build as they want to build. If you want to build your own duplex, whatever it is you want to build, it's not like Heritage Group where we're building the apartments ourselves, but we can build as well. So if you want to buy the land and ask us to build, Bethel Gardens is by it's at Akodo. So that's the rate in pounds sterling. Beachfront, we have our beachfront land, and this will be the rate in pounds sterling as well, right in front of the beach. And then frequently asked questions: do the properties have authentic titles? Yes, you can bet, because I'm a lawyer. And I don't joke with that. That is very key. Is there a payment plan option? Yes. And then we can modify the payment plan to suit your budgetary needs. And then if you are making an outright payment, you get a good discount, just to encourage you. And also because when we get outright payments as well, it helps us to quickly move the project fast. Are there any other charges payable after the purchase? It's all inclusive except for legal documentation. So you're not paying agency separate, nothing like that. Only 5% legal documentation, that must be. But service charge are payable once the estate becomes operational. What documents will I get upon payment? You get a payment receipt, contract of sale, letter of allocation upon full payment, deed of assignment upon full payment. And here is to say a very big thank you for your patience. Okay, I hope it was insightful.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take time out now to ask some questions. I tell you the truth, you can't miss it with land. If you have not, in fact, I used to tell people, you don't wait to buy land. You buy land and wait. You buy land and wait. You buy land and wait. I'll tell you, you cannot miss it with land. There is no way. It has always been land. Barrister, Adeleye, it has always been about land from the beginning.
Absolutely.
God told Abraham, he said, I will show you what? A land. It's always been about land. It's always, in fact, if you have not invested in land, you are missing it. I can tell you. It's like, sorry to use the word, it's like blood money. But it needs a lot of patience. It needs a lot. You need to do what we call the due diligence. You need to know what you're buying. You need to actually thank God for Barrister. Trusted, I can tell you, you cannot miss it with Barrister Adeleye at all. You cannot miss it. Just like her testimony, look at the way she started. From 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. I can tell you, you can't miss it. I have invested a lot in landed property. A lot, not one, not two, and I'm still investing. And I'm still looking for more to invest in. So please, I beg you, it's time out now to reach out any of this project that you have interest in. Thank God she has opened it up for installment payment. There's a payment plan in place. You can actually take advantage of that to invest. I was going to ask a question. We have asked them to put a question right in the chat group. If you've got a question, put it right in the chat group. I think you've answered one of the questions I already asked in the chat group. And I know a lot of people wanted to ask same or similar question. Thank you for sharing that website with us, which is lagoslistpendants.com.ng. If you need to check if any property, any land has any disputes, just actually go there. You should be able to see. Like she said, the site is currently down. If you go check much later, I think it will be up and running. Just my question, and then I create room for others. Put your question in the chat group. On JV, Barrister Adeleye, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm here.
All right, good. On JV, when I mean JV, I'm talking about joint ventures, when two people, I don't have the land, another person have a land, but I have the money to build. And don't forget, when it comes to land, that especially like she said, the one you want to rent at, location is key. But you will agree with me that the building cost may be the same, or slightly different, because the amount of cement you are going to buy in Ikoyi is the same amount of cement you are going to buy in Ojuelegba, or in whatever. It's building it may just be the same. Building material may likely be the same, but you see, location now, like she said, is key. I don't have the land, another person is having the land, I have the money, and then I'm going to build because I have the resources. But here's my question, Barrister. What happened with the principle of quid plantitor solo solicidet? What happened in a situation whereby it has stated, because the Latin Mazin is saying, he who owns the land owns the improvement on it. So is it that there is going to be a form of a documentation? Because if, for example, I own the land and then you're having the money, you are built on my land, and then there is dispute. And the law have stated it clearly that anyone who owns the land owns the improvement. So what is the remedy there?
That's a very good question, Mr. George. So that's why from the onset you need to get the covenants, the details of the JV really well, because you are the one putting in your money into it. This person already has the land, and he will have that land forever. So whatever happens, if there's a dispute, and I will tell you, Mr. George, that in courts right now in Lagos State, about 70% of land cases that we have, 70% of them are JV. And so that's why you must have a lawyer who is sound in preparing JV agreements and ensure that you are well protected and you are well covered. Some of the protective clauses we would have would be, if there's any disputes, the land will be sold. And once the land is sold, then everything that I have invested in it as per a JV partner, right, that money will be given back to me. So there are different clauses. So if there's a dispute and they are not going ahead with it, and then you can agree that every improvement I have made on the land, that the landowner will give me back the value in money. Now, remember that these people, most times they don't have the money. So you may have made an improvement of about 250 million. This man, if he had the money, wouldn't have been looking for a JV partner. So he said, and should he not have the money, within 6 months, the property will be put into the market and be sold. And whatever I've spent on it will be given to me. So that's why if the agreement, if a JV is well prepared, more often than not, it will result in disputes. Or if a dispute results, you wouldn't. If it ends up in a dispute, you wouldn't have to go to courts. And then another thing is, you can decide that you want this thing to be sorted out. You have a dispute resolution clause in the agreement. We don't want to go to courts. We want it to be resolved via, it could be mediation or negotiation, or it could be via arbitration. All these are quick ways, because if you go to court will keep adjourning, and then the money that you have invested in it for years, you are not able to get it. Sometimes the court cases go on for like 4, 5, 10 years. So, but if it's arbitration or mediation or negotiation, within 3 months or 6 months, you've resolved everything, and each party would. So usually it will end up being a win-win situation. So it's at the point of agreement that all these things have to be talked about.
Thank you so much for that beautiful answer. Like we always say in our platform, you investigate before you invest. So these are some of the things you may need to actually put in place before you finally do what we are referred to as JV, which is a joint venture. I tell you the truth, all of these projects that we've mentioned here, of course, it's our product now with our project as well. We'll continue to mention it right here in our platform. Please, I want to encourage you to invest in this project. Invest in this project. You can't miss it with it. I tell you the truth. Buy land and wait. Don't wait to buy land. That's my statement to you. Buy land. Invest that little money. Put it there. The instrumental plan is there. Put it there. The payments plan is there. Put your money. It's little money. You can never tell what it will amount to. Especially in Lagos, there's I think I was listening to Matthew Ashimolowo on there's actually an interview he did, which is very, very beautiful. I will encourage you to listen to that. It will encourage you to actually invest in real estate, to invest in land. Buy land today and you will not regret it. Everybody that you see that has a lot of money, the billionaires, even up to Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, they have all invested in landed property. Warren Buffett, land is always land. Elon Musk is land. It's always on property. You cannot miss it with real estate. So I will encourage you to do that. I don't think I have more questions in the chat group. I think it's been really exciting listening to Barrister Adeleye. Barrister, I want to thank you for taking time out to school all of us that are here. If you know you want to invest, you have Barrister here. You can always reach out to us and then we can link you up. If you've invested already, there are some certain things that you've not done about, especially those of you that have invested in Lagos. I want to encourage you, not necessarily even Lagos, any part of the world. Please, you will reach out to us and I want you to see how we can connect you to Barrister Adeleye. She's willing to really help you to ensure that you have good title at the end of the day. What I'm taking out this question, Barrister, what do you have for people in diaspora who has lost interest in investing back home due to one disappointment or the other? Barrister.
Okay, well, so that's why we are in the markets. So we know that a whole lot of people have tried to send money to families and they've mismanaged, or they've invested with one developer who has absconded with the money and has not delivered. And so I would say that, we all go through disappointments in life at one point or the other, but then it's not enough for us to stay down forever. And then you just have to rise up again, and so that when the opportunity to invest in a good one comes, then you don't lose out on the opportunity. So for everyone in the diaspora who has lost interest in investment back home, it's a clarion call to encourage you to not lose interest, so that you don't lose out on an opportunity for great return, or so that you don't lose out on an opportunity to invest in properties that will bring you great return on your investment. I've had to counsel a few people, that have been referred to me. One of them is a pastor in Maryland. The first place he worked in Singapore when he was going back to the US. He was given an enormous amount of money, and then he decided to just send the money to a friend who was also into real estate to help him get some land in Abuja. And apparently he embezzled the money and he kept lying. Oh, we've done the fencing, we've done this, and he would send fake pictures. And then when he went to Nigeria was when he realized that there was nothing. He had squandered his money. And for about 20 years, he refused to invest. And somebody said, you need to meet Mrs. Adeleye. You need to meet Mrs. Adeleye. So he came to my office and, all his fears were, dissipated. He said he completely lost interest. He couldn't trust anybody anymore. So we all go through disappointments in life, but don't let it keep you down forever, because the truth is there are still good real estate investments opportunities in Nigeria, and please don't miss out on them. Invest with us, and then you would not regret it. I have over 20 years post-call experience. I've been into real estate for almost 20 years, and I don't have a single court case. That's the truth. Not a single court case, with all the due diligence, everything that we've been doing. So I'm always proud to say that anytime, any day, because once there's a hint of doubt with regards to anytime, I run away from it. And I try to ensure that we have all our T's crossed and all our I's dotted. Yeah.
Barrister Mrs. Adeleye, having all the T's crossed and having all the I's dotted. You can't miss it with her, to be sincere with you. Please, I beg you, try as much as you can to reach out to me or reach out to Barrister Kenny, who we connect you directly to Barrister Mrs. Adeleye. Reach out to us, and then you won't miss it. And we could do JV. We could do all of us here. We can actually come together and look at the Lekki Free Trade Zone, like she has mentioned, the heritage. In fact, you cannot. We could do JV, to be sincere.
Absolutely.
If you don't have all the money, people on this platform has got all the money. Myself and Archbishop Fabiana, we could put money together and put a lot of money in there. And by the time we are smiling, you will start envying us. Please, we will not allow that to happen. But just to let you know that we could do a lot. Let's invest in this property. If you don't have all the money, we will allow you to pay on installments. There's a payment plan in place. And then you will see yourself smiling 5 years from now, 2 years from now. To be sincere with you, the Lekki Free Trade Zone land in those areas, every day they are moving. Tell us more about JV. He said, tell us more about JV. It's joint ventures where two people come together. In fact, me and you can, Victoria Sodiq, me and you, we could do JV, joint ventures. Let's put money together and invest. We put money together and invest. But in this, I know she make reference to people that have those lands or property that is not dilapidated, that we are giving to them by heritage or by inheritance, so to say. Their father gave them this property. They don't have the money, but they have land in a very good place, but the property there is nothing to write home about. So you can actually invest. Tell them, okay, you have the land, I have the money, I'll build something of standard there. Then we share the profit at the end of the day. We do the percentage of when I rent out this place, this is the amount I give to you. I'm not getting the land off you. You still have the land, but I have the property. Yeah. And I think she has also answered the issue of, should the case there is any dispute, he said, we don't need to go to court. We can sell the land, sell the house, sell everything, and then we all share our money. I know a lot of people are putting hands. You don't want to put your questions in the chat group. We are about to rounding off now. I'll take these hands that are up, just 2, and then that will be it. Let's take Sunday Edos. Sunday Edos, I'll take you straight. Unmute yourself and let's see your question. Thank you, Victoria Sadiq.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much. Although I did join on time, but I was able to get something from your teaching. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I just want to tell everyone that are here. There's one of my brother on the line right now that what we are saying now, that if you buy land or if you have a land, that someone can actually build on it and maybe share the money, maybe getting percentage or whatever. So I told that person, I said, I had a revelation like this concerning you. I was telling that brother, I don't know, you are going to teach something like this today.
Wow.
So as you were saying it just now, I just said, wow, I got revelation concerning this thing. So I'm saying it just to encourage us, anyone that is interested, so that they can go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take the last one. Fabiana, go ahead, please.
Hello, thank you so much, sir. Barrister Lamide, thank you. God bless you. That was
Amen. You're
awesome
welcome.
teaching.
Thank you.
Mr. George, I just want to make a suggestion. Like you said, JV, can you be our coordinator? You know, I'll always be on you.
I know.
You know, 90% of my success is tied to you, so I won't let you go. So if some of us on this platform, not majority of us will actually want to invest, but however, because of the situation of things, possibly the money, the fund is not there. If 2-3 people can actually come together, 5 people, 10 people, depending, you know, put these resources together and invest, even if it's one we are able to lay our hands on. Let's start with one. Then as time goes on, we can always progress to, you know, I don't know if it's possible, you know.
Okay, I like Fabiana just said, to be sincere with you, you see, Fabiana is in Manchester, and you see, is someone that, you see, anything that moves, you must be moving it. Anything you see that is moving, somebody is moving it.
Right.
If you do nothing will happen. Forget about your position or whatever. God will not see. He made both the poor and then the rich, but he's not the one that will make you either poor or rich. What he said he will give to you is actually power. He will give you power. He's giving us everything, but it's our decision, and part of it is what we do now. Like what she just suggested, is based on trust. And I think Barrister Adeleye was saying something about trust, integrity. You can take it to the market, they will give you goods. In my teaching, when I teach as part of capital or money, I teach trust. I used to say trust is social capital. You can take it to the market, you get goods. Some people will give you goods, you don't have money, you don't give them money, they will give you the goods because they know you will go and sell it and return the money, and then you get the profits. So trust is social capital. So on that note, time is gone. Sorry, Nestoria, I may not be able to take you. Very, very sorry. I'm quite sure.
It's not Nestoria. Sorry about that. Not that I want to ask any question before. I don't know if it's okay.
Yes, go ahead quickly, Pastor Efe. Go ahead quickly.
I just want to really, 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 for the depth of my heart, I really want to really appreciate the in-depth teaching of our barrister. It blew my mind, especially the anchor of bringing people together. That's the JV. It really blew my mind, and that will make this platform a platform of solidated into trust. So may God bless you, Minister George. May God empower you, and may God bless you, Barrister. May God enlarge your good, and may God never let you down. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to say. I love you.
Thank you. I know you will be willing to put money together for us to actually put money into that investment. Like what Fabiana have said, and don't worry, I'm going to put up something together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 person that have interest. Will we invest? I can tell you, with me, with Barrister Adeleye, your investment, by the time we are coming back to this platform to share our testimony, we bought a land of 5 million naira. By the time of 1 year, 2 years, we are selling that land for 10 million. We are selling it for 15, for 100 million. At the end of the day, those of you that didn't invest. Well, anyway, I just want to say a big thank you to Barrister. Thank you for taking time out to come teach on this platform. Barrister Kenny, go ahead quickly, Barrister Kenny.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to lend my voice to what Barrister Mr. Adeleye has been speaking, or she has spoken so far. I'm speaking like somebody who really knows Mr. Adeleye very well. I worked with Mr. Adeleye for number of years before coming to UK, and I can beat my chest. We're in the right place. So I want to encourage everybody to, invest in our projects. This is one before we can bring her upstage. We have been bringing a lot of people, and we've not even allowed anybody to come and say, okay, I have this to sell. She's a trusted person, and you can invest and go to sleep. I bet you. So if you have been, we have been teaching for quite a while, and you don't really know where to put the money. This is where to put the money, and you will thank me later. Trust me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Put your money now and thank Barrister Kenny later. All right. On this note, I want to draw. Folashade. I wanted to draw talking. I will allow Folashade. That will be the last. Folashade, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Thank you, everyone. For us, we work as a team with Mrs. Adeleye, and I want to assure everyone here that she has a very strong team. She has dedicated and committed team members who will sure deliver on any project that this group is intending to go into. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for that. That's the last. On this note, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Barrister Adeleye. Thank you for being there. Of course, we'll be bringing her from time to time to actually share with us. There was not enough time for her to teach on what you need to do when it comes to due diligence, and we'll bring her again. She will be teaching on it. On this note, I will meet you again in 2 weeks' time. Next class is going to be on the 19th of this very month, on the 19th of October, where we'll be teaching again on how to make, manage, and multiply your money. God bless you. Thank you, Barrister. God bless you for taking time out.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
I'll see you all on the 19th. Bye for now. I'm saying my thank you to my brother, my brother Osasu Owen. Thank you so much. That's my brother. Thank you so much, Osasu Owen. Victoria Sodiq, thank you for taking out your time. Barrister Adeleye, I can't thank you. Now, Barrister Kenny, our coordinator, thank you so much. Fabiana, that's my Archbishop Fabiana. In fact, don't worry, I'm going to call you very soon so that we can look at 1 or 2 things we can do together, Barrister Fabiana. And so many of you that have interest, please reach out to me. We would put something together that we can do. Nestoria, please, we will talk and then see what we can do. Victoria Sodiq, please, we will talk. We'll see what we can do with Lithiu. Esther, please, we will talk.
Thank you. That would be great.
Thank you so much for taking time out to join. Buki, I'm going to call you soon, please. Ifoma Obasi, thank you so much. Ifoma, don't let the millions scare you. The millions you are hearing, don't let it scare you. Don't let it scare you. Austin Ediale, thank you so much. Austin, thank you. Antonia, how are you? How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Kay, thank you. Kay, thank you. Matilda, that's my sister. Matilda Owen, Matilda Emmanuel, thank you so much for taking time out to join. Lufemi Adedeji, thank you, Lufemi, for taking time out to join. Thank you so much. Equate, Pat Francis, thank you so much. Ruth, thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you. Stacy Osaze, thank you so much. Victoria Sode, thank you. Yetunde Lawan, thank you, Yetunde, for taking time out to join. God bless you all. I'll see you on the 19th of this month. Bye for now. Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone. Bye.
Thank you.